Hi folks, this is Don Rowley. Hopefully this one will be a short video, but it's in response to a question I got last night from an account called Suicide Webzine asking who Jon Duvall, my stalker who challenged me to a fight. That's the one that I've set for July 21st. Again, I can't post links in comments. But I can hear. Um, and yeah, it kind of made me realize that ever since I started the podcast, my amount of subscribers has exploded. So a lot of people probably don't know some of the things in the past, all that. Um, so short version, Jon Duvall is a guy that started his own style of ninjutsu, and he has been basically harassing me, stalking me since 2011. Okay. Um, yeah. Now, again, he's challenged me to a fight. I said for July 21st. Um, July 22nd, there's going to be a huge video. I mean, if he doesn't show up, there's going to be a huge media blitz, basically, telling the world all that he has done, all the crimes he has committed, things like that against me, you know, things like that. If you go to my community section, again, there's videos or shorts, etc. Then there's community. I'm posting screenshots of a lot of the harassment he's tried in the past. It's kind of like, first of all, to try to just get it out there. And as I find it in my pictures folder, I kind of put it up there to kind of organize it. That'll all come back. There'll be, in this thing coming out July 22nd, there'll be audio of him on his podcast, accusing me of various crimes that he won't back up, and him making fun of my wife dying of cancer and having a good laugh at that. There'll be screenshots of what he's done and all that. Again, it's going to be a big thing, on July 22nd. This is not going to go into it. But one thing that I really encourage people that want to know what Jon Duvall is, follow the link that I'm going to put in the description. Okay, it goes to a message board. And just read it for yourself. Skim it, see what it is. Basically, Jon Duvall studied the same art that I did. It's sometimes called ninjutsu. The organization's name is Bujikam. He studied it to eighth Q. For those not familiar with the Q Dan ranking systems, basically it goes no Q, ninth Q, eighth Q, seventh, all the way up to first Q. Then then it goes to first Dan black belt, etc. Okay, so at eighth Q, he studied up to eighth Q, which is like a month or two sometimes. And then he started his own style of ninjutsu. Yeah, and he called his style Kumore-ru ninjutsu, and he said that Kumori basically means hidden in the clouds. It doesn't. Kumori is Japanese for overcast weather. Listen to a weather report, you'll occasionally hear it. So yeah, again, he started this art. He moved to Colorado Springs, where I moved. He's originally from Illinois. He's back there now. And again, read the thread. And it starts out with him saying, "Oh, why can't we all just get along? Why can't we just acknowledge that all ninjutsu styles are trying to do the right thing for the shadow tradition?" Something like that. And of course, I'm not even part of that board. I'm not a member of that board at that time. And so people immediately say, "Well, what do you mean we? What's your qualifications?" And again, on his website, there were, like how to get fifth dan. He went from getting an eighth Q to giving out fifth dans. And they're like, "Okay, so what's your qualifications?" And then when they found out, they're like, "No, no, you're not qualified to start your own art. You can't contribute to the conversation. You're just not qualified," which pissed him off. And again, if you read it, and this is why I'm encouraging you to read it, again, he starts off, "I understand your position and I have to disagree." At the start, he can really keep it together, just like a lot of sociopathics can. But by the end of it, the mask is flipped and he is just completely trashing people and just showing people just how ugly a personality he has. So that's why, and if you encounter him, he'll probably initially be kind of like, "Oh yeah, how?" And he actually accuses me of stalking him. But again, that's why I'm gathering all this evidence to show, like, yeah, this is what he did. So one of the things he does, and I want you to take note in the thread, is that he's basically saying, oh well, I can't train, so I had to start this art, and everyone's like, dude, there's a guy that lived in 15 years in Japan. This guy knows what he's talking about. He translates old books on ninjutsu. Why don't you train with him if you love this art so much and you started this art, your style, to honor ninjutsu? And of course, he made excuses. And I was on another message board, and people brought this to my attention, and I basically posted, "Hey guys, stop trying to send him to me. I know the type of person he is. This guy's got to eighth Q, started his own style. This guy's going to show up at my class, observe one class, have a picture taken with me, and then the next thing you know, on his website said, among the instructors that Jon Duvall is trained with is Don Rowley." And I didn't want that. And I said this, and I said that I think that some of you guys over on that other message board want me to basically spill a little blood. You want to see Jon Duvall's blood spilled at my hands. I don't appreciate that. I don't appreciate, like you sending this guy to me to get beat up, because he does deserve an educational beat down, as the saying goes. But I don't want like being used like that. I think he's quoted. I think someone quoted me like that in the thread. But again, it was also another thread that John could read, and he starts saying things like, Don Rowley has said that he wants to see my blood spilled. He's got guns. I'm scared. I'm going to the police. I've looked into it to see if he's got a criminal record. This guy wants me dead," which of course is a complete lie. He misinterpreted things. And that's another thing about his personality. Eventually, he joined the other group that I was part of. And, first thing I did is, "Why did you lie about me?" And he'd go, and of course, I put up the quote, put up what he said about me. And, again, both threads, basically the thread that I'm going to link to and the other thread, he managed to get basically blocked from both groups real quick, like. So, yeah. So, he did that, and I kept my eye on him, because this guy, he's not the type to really stand up to somebody, but I would not put it past him to shoot somebody from the shadows. So I kept an eye on him for a while. After that, not too long, he started posting on Facebook how his wife was blocking him. He might not see his kid or his kids ever again, stuff like that. And then he was started posting back from Illinois. I was like, okay, fine, stopped watching him. Until a few years ago, when he came back onto Facebook, started joining Bunjikan groups, even though he's not Bunjikan, and started promoting his podcast, which had guests like Ashita Kim and Frank Dukes, who, again, they're frauds, and they're definitely not Bunjikan. And he's trying to post things in, Bunjikan groups, and I and a few other people basically say, this is not appropriate. This is not the type of thing that, we come to Bunjikan groups to, Bunjikan. Um, yeah. And he got banned from basically every Bujinkan group on Facebook. And that's when, he really started harassing. He tried to call, he did things like call people out of the blue and then put them on the podcast live, after insulting them. And he tried calling me several times through Facebook Messenger, and I never picked up. And again, just going through I'm documenting all the harassment, all the comments, the fake accounts that he set up pretending to be me, all that. And again, it'll be there. But trust me, check the community section of this channel. You'll see it. Check out my other channel, Bad Budo. I've basically reposted some videos that he put up and decided was not the best thing to keep up. Too bad. Things, led forever. So yeah, he'll have to come out on July 21st and face me, if he wants to go through with this. But yeah, he'll try to pretend that he is the victim, but as I am documenting slowly, this is years of harassment, and unfortunately, it's not very effective harassment. I mean, he has basically been a failure all his life. He's basically the poster child for malignant narcissism. He keeps wanting to create a community. I mean, that's what I tried to do with his ninjutsu podcast. Create a community of all the ninja factions, which of course did not work. He got a few people that were decent, at first before they know what it was. And again, he showed his true colors pretty soon. I mean, he got, he lost his cool. He did things and burned all his bridges. And then he was left with people like, Frank Dukes and, such. Um, he, you know, he he really can't start at the bottom and work his way up. He's got to basically jump in, try to create a community that he can lead and, be looked up to. That's what he wants. And of course, it always fails. I mean, he tried to like unite the kilted community, then the handpan community. That's a little thing like this, and he's not very good at the handpan. I mean, there's videos of him. I'll link to it. With his tag. Of him begging on the streets. I mean, didn't have a job, begging on the streets with his handpan. But if you look up, decent handpan players, you'll see. Oh, okay, that's the potential. Right now, from what I understand, he's trying to get a biking group started in his city, and just like be the leader of this community of school of bikers, biking around town. That's probably going to go downhill. I mean, just as soon as people see the real side of him, and he can't keep his, mask on forever, he'll be abandoned. But so that's it. Again, I might post a few other links, that kind of explain, people, a guy named Lourdes has put together blogs describing the various crimes he's committed. I mean, basically, yes, crimes. I mean, again, he's done a lot of stuff. He spent maybe 1,000 hours or more just devoted to attacking people. Not just me, mainly me, but anyone that defends me, anyone that like that. Yeah, he's a real vicious little cunt. But at this point, I don't think he has the courage to actually face me. He's more along the lines of, the guy from behind the computer. And the reason why I'm putting together this thing that I'm going to release is that, he tends to, he gets battered and then he disappears for a while. And then he comes back. And again, the harassment starts and the claims that I'm stalking him start. Yeah, July 22nd, there's going to be something up that basically will detail this is what he's done. Here's the proof. This is, and here's some more stuff. And my friends have basically talked to me, and we're going to talk to it more that weekend. But basically, there's going to be, a media blitz, things sent all over. I've got friends that are very good at that. So, he'll basically be known for what he does to me at that point if he doesn't show up on July 21st. But little by little, I'm putting up screenshots in the community section of this video. I'm putting up videos that I've saved in bad Budo, things like that. So that's who Jon Duvall is. Basically, a failure that wants to be a ninja master, and right now seems to be kind of laying low until this challenge that he made to me is forgotten. He hasn't said he won't go through with it. Can't point to anything like that. He won't. He won't even admit that he made the challenge anymore. But I've got video and all that. So hopefully on July 21st, I get to show my love for someone that made fun of my wife dying of cancer and laughing about it. Anyways, went 13 minutes. Sorry, but read the links. Okay, bye.